You cannot tell me that you didn't think this was the coolest thing ever as a kid. Ben just gets hurtled into the future, and then there's Ben 10,000. That's not something you can introduce to a 5-year-old Nathan, oh my god. Looking like a mix of Reed Richards and Tony Stark with his goatee and white sideburns, and then the Omnitrix that extends up his entire forearm. And then we saw that the reboot was giving us this. Bit of a downgrade, I won't lie to you, but what if this is better? This episode hasn't aired yet, but I've actually seen it, and, well, this is why I think that this Ben 10,000 is better than the last. So this episode is of the Ben 10 reboot in Season 5, I believe, called Ben 10,010. For starters, Ben 10,000 is super chubby, and, you know, that's just kind of weird to think because, you know, it's like, he kind of downgraded over the years, he let himself go, kind of like Peter B. Parker. But the kind of wasteland that he lives in, the future that they live in, is a wasteland. They've kind of gone Logan style with it. Maybe we can thank Xanderflix for this, for making that just amazing trailer a few years ago. I won't talk too much about what happens in the episode because this isn't necessarily a review or anything, but I will go into details on why I think it's better. Now, first of all, we have the benefit of hindsight. The benefit of hindsight. Yeah, I need to stop. So we have the aliens looking, you know, looking quite more advanced, a lot older. But the problem is with Ben 10,000 in the original series that every time Ben evolved in a different series, so did Ben 10,000. So the first time we see him, we didn't see Swampfire and Humongosaur and Jet Ray and all these aliens that he gained over time because obviously they hadn't thought of those aliens yet. Whereas this show does it perfectly because, as a great example, Ben doesn't have Spider Monkey in this series yet, but Ben 10K did. And I also really like that Spider Monkey pretty much looks exactly like the Alien Force one. In fact, Ben 10K's Heat Blast looks nothing like the reboot one, but almost identical to the Ben 10K Heat Blast from the original series. And that I just loved. I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm not a massive fan of the new Heat Blast design. I don't mind it, but the look of the original Heat Blast, it was as if it was actual fire as opposed to a solid colour running through him. The fact that they brought this guy back really makes me happy. Another reason why I like this Ben 10K more than the old one is purely because of the reason why they meet. In the original one, Ben just gets hurtled to the future and they're just like, oh, I guess we'll fight side by side. This time round, Ben 10K needs the younger Ben because his Omnitrix is starting to malfunction. It's starting to die out on him and he needs another Omnitrix. He needs another protector to help him to make sure that his Omnitrix doesn't run out and, you know, he dies. This isn't necessarily a reason why I like Ben more, but just to add it in, they have this alien called Surge, which is basically Ben's Omnitrix gets wet and it creates a power surge and then he turns into like this X thing. I don't know, don't ask. I mean, X means 10, I suppose, so yeah, that's chill. But the younger Ben's one is purple because that's, you know, I guess that's upgrade. But the older Ben's version is black and green, which is a nice reminiscent kind of touch on the original upgrade. Something else to point out is that Kevin and Gwen are in this episode. Gwen is actually the president, and Kevin is he still has his anti-tricks, and he's like this weird T-Rex thing. Don't really know how to get into that. But it kind of does show that she doesn't get her magic, which I don't really understand, because she uses a big mech suit, she doesn't use any magic, or at least from what I've seen. So if they end up giving her magic, then they've just ruined Ben 10K again by not following through with ideas. But yeah, anyway, enough of that. Grandpa Max is a hologram, which unfortunately probably means he's passed away, which, you know, it's a bit sad to think of, but it's a lot better than Grandpa Max just being like... In the original show, when they did Ben 10K, Max looked younger than he did in the present timeline. He just had like a metal arm. So the fact that Max is a hologram this time around, it makes more sense, I guess. And the last thing is that once again we fall back to hindsight after Ben kind of has this revolution that he is actually a good enough hero. He shaves his beard, good old Captain America style, and then he chucks on a jacket, and it's none other than the green leather jacket with a 10 on it from Alien Force. And again, hindsight, we can implement these things from different shows. I found it quite weird at the start that they were giving young Ben Humongosaur, Jet Ray and Wrath, but then I started to like get okay with that idea. But now that we're seeing that because they're just trying to do a 10-year-old Ben and not any older, the fact that they're implementing all these other things from the other shows, I do really like. However, they did give Ben 10K the big forearm Omnitrix. There was nothing about the Ultimatrix and, you know, the Ultimate Omnitrix and stuff like that. So maybe we can expect to see some things along those lines in the future. But other than that, I liked it. Overall, I do like the whole design of the original Ben 10K more, but it's the concept that he kind of fell apart over the years because he was given such great power and such big responsibility at such a young age. In the original series, we slowly see Ben get more mature, but then as we get over to Omniverse and Ultimate Alien, get less and less mature, yet Ben 10K is still very mature. Didn't really make much sense. But this version of Ben 10K is still pretty goofy, but takes up the responsibility as he needs to, and obviously we see that for a long period of time he didn't. Like I said, he fell apart as a hero and he lived in a wasteland for so long because the surges took over. Originally I was going to do a Ben 10 Rewritten episode on how I would change Ben 10,000, and if you guys really want me to dive into that properly, I definitely will do it in the future, but I thought I'd make this video instead for now, because this is essentially how I would have done it, Ben having the downfall and then having to rise to the occasion again, as opposed to him just being this elite superhero that never had any issues. Like, he was given an alien device, which the whole universe was after at the age of 10 years old. Like, if that's not enough, then geez. There was also nothing to do with Max being a plumber in the future episode, and Max is in the hologram still wearing his you know, his regular clothes. So again, whether they dive into that, I'm not sure, but I'd be interested to see. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to subscribe, and we upload every Wednesday and Saturday at 6:30 PM British time. This is episode 3 of Ben 10 Rewritten. Haven't been as frequent with it, I do apologise, but I do hope to get some more out in due time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Goodbye.